All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to begin with more Kaiju number 8. Let's get started, shall we? Well, actually, hold on. I forgot to grab something. I always seem to forget grabbing something before I start these sessions. Every single time. Every time I always seem to forget something before I start. Which was not my intention. Alright, we're good now. Let's begin. Yo, peoples! KAIJU92 here. Welcome back to yet another reading of Kaiju number 8. Today, we are going to be reading through volume 11 of this series and find out just how the JDF is going to get out of this ambush that number 9 has placed them all in. Because, just to give a little bit of a recap, all of the top fighters for the JDF have been trapped and led into a trap by number 9 with kaiju that all have specific abilities that counter the capabilities and abilities of the JDF's top fighters. There's a kaiju for Narumi, there's a kaiju for Kikoru, there's a kaiju for Shinonome and the other people that are with her. All these top fighters from Hoshina all the way to Mina, they all have kaiju that were specifically created to counter them. And now they've all been separated. So let's see what happens. Now, mind you, hold on, I'm pressing the wrong thing again. I was supposed to put this next to that tab. The chapters we're going to be going through is chapters 82 to 89. So this probably won't be too long of a session if I just keep being succinct with everything. But good seeing all of you here. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, just enjoy my dulcet tones. And it cuts back in time. It cuts back in time to when one average JDF soldier is going, "He was simply overwhelming." As Narumi is apparently standing over this gigantic, multi-faced kaiju of some kind. "Ever since the day we first shared space on the battlefield, he has been an entity far beyond my reach." Chapter 82. And then we cut back to the main headquarters. "Reports coming in from various areas. Due to our main forces being incapacitated, we're starting to see a gradual rise in damage." And then we get to Itami, who goes, "They're taking our people out one by one with kaiju that targets their weaknesses. The pool of officers who can fight against an identified class is extremely limited. If even one of our sites is breached, then it might bring everything crumbling down." And then we have Shinonome, who was basically watching her own comrade being strangled to death by that one kaiju that was running and outpacing cars before it disappeared. And she's just stricken with fear, it would seem.
This is useless. Its offensive capabilities and mobility far exceed our own. It's unlike any kaiju we've ever fought. Fighting this thing is a lost cause.
And while she's saying this, her own comrade is slowly just being strangled by this thing.
"Detecting fractures in mandible and C2 vertebra of platoon leader Tachibana."
I knew it was Tachibana.
"He won't be able to hold out much longer. Platoon leader Shinonome, provide backup."
And then it cuts back to when Narumi was speaking to Shinonome. "I'm appointing you as platoon leader."
"Get out of there, Tachibana! Unleash combat power. 73%!
And then she unleashes her power and immediately opens fire on the kaiju, and its body is enveloped in explosions as Tachibana falls away from its grip. But while she's, opening fire, the kaiju ignores it and just bolts straight towards her without her even being able to fully react, and proceeds to just, with one solid punch, land a blow directly into her body, breaking her gun, breaking her, and sending her flying into the distance, crashing straight through a house.
I wanted to get stronger.
Oh.
I wanted to get stronger and become a captain to make Captain Narumi notice me.
Wow, okay, so the soldier speaking at the beginning was not just some average person. It was actually Shinonome the whole time. That now explains the front page where it shows Shinonome on one side and the getup she used to have when she was a regular rank-and-file soldier on the other. I didn't even notice that. But she gets launched by this thing, and we're still in a flashback where Naomi is walking in with Eiji into the room.
All he was ever interested in was strength. I was always out of his view. Just another officer out of many. One day I'll make him notice me. With that sole purpose in mind, I focused my efforts on bettering myself. Which is why.
And it shows her, running track and field even late into the night, working out, making sure her face is all prim and proper and fine.
Which is why.
And then it cuts to Narumi playing on his PSP this time, because he got it from Yamazon. Not Amazon, Yamazon. Distinctly different company. Narumi says, I'm appointing you as a platoon leader. Show me the next level of your skills, Shinonome.
Which is why I was so happy when he addressed me by name for the first time.
And then she grips her fists.
When he finally recognized my skills.
Then we get back to the present.
As a platoon leader of the 1st Division, as a part of that man's operation, being put in charge of the front line has been an honor.
And it shows Shinonome after she, stops herself after dragging her hand through the ground. She's bleeding, but she's also crying. And she grabs a gun and immediately starts taking off towards that kaiju.
I don't stand a chance, but I'm positive that he does. In that case, as platoon leader, there's only one thing I can do.
And it looks like she throws a grenade, and she freezes this speed kaiju all around it. And she screams out as she opens fire on the kaiju, as it looks like it's been immobilized.
This isn't going to be enough to kill you anyway, right? If you want my life, you can take it! I have to buy every second I can. I need to gain as much intel as possible. And pass the baton to Captain Nolamy!
But as she says this, and she's preparing to open fire on the kaiju, that same kaiju is behind her. And she can only look behind her as we get this massive explosion on the bridge she's standing on, and then the whole erupting down through it.
No, I can't. I can't let that thought take hold of me. I am a platoon leader of the 1st Division.
And she's laying in a pile of rubble.
Risking my life to protect this nation is my duty. So, I shouldn't let that thought prevail.
And then the kaiju is standing right above her, and it's not even speaking, it's just going...
I know that I shouldn't, but I don't want to die. I don't need to be rewarded. I just wanted to get stronger and prettier and chase after that man.
And then the kaiju proceeds to punch exactly where Shinonome was. I hit a wrong button by mistake. And the kaiju is confused. Woo! Woo! The kaiju is confused because all it managed to hit was ground. And it looks over as we see someone suddenly carrying Shinonome. It's your boy. It's your boy. It's your boy. And she's barely able to keep her eyes open as she's cradled in this person's arms. The kaiju is looking confused, kinda, and Shinonome just manages to get out.
You... Why?
And it's Kafka. It's Kafka. It's Kafka. Oh! It's Kafka! Wow, I hit the wrong button. There we go. I'm sorry, Platoon Leader Shinonome. I know you assigned me to rear guard duties, but I'm disobeying that order. And Kafka looks livid. And that's the end of chapter 82, onwards to 83. Let's go. Let's go. Kaiju number 8, chapter 83. Then we get back to Kikoru, apparently in a flashback, talking to Kafka.
No matter what happens, don't come help me.
Huh? Well, that's random. The heck's that mean?
It means what it means. I'm telling you not to come help me during our next battle, even if I'm in trouble. Of course, I'm grateful you've come to my aid in the past. However, I'm through being rescued. No matter how powerful the enemy I may face, I will take them down on my own. I need you to believe in me. Focus on the enemy in front of you and wipe the floor with them.
And it cuts back to the present as Kafka's standing in front of this kaiju, as he pretty much laid Shinonome down.
Don't. Hibino. We can't afford to lose you here. Fall back.
I appreciate the concern, but don't worry. I won't be losing. This guy... is all mine. And then Kafka violently transforms, literally blowing everything away from him as he oh, this is so clean! He just transforms into 8. He goes into his kaiju state and blows back everything around him. And the power erupts from when Kafka transforms to the point where Shinonome feels it. The kaiju fighting Kikoru feels it. The kaiju fighting Narumi feels it. The kaiju fighting Hoshina feels it. All other kaiju in the area. Mind you, they are separated in different districts. They are far away from each other. But all of these kaiju that are fighting all these other officers, they immediately feel the presence of number 8. Dai kaiju detected in the Oizumi area. This reading. And this is Kurusu going, it's kaiju number 8. And that catches the attention of Itami and the other guy as he goes, did we give him permission to deploy? No, sir. Kafka Hibino. The original plan was to have him preserve his strength until the battle with number 9. But I guess we have no choice but to use him now, given the current situation. And then Kafka starts walking towards the kaiju that was beating up Shinonome and Tachibana. I can feel them. The huge kaiju powers at each location. The one at Chofu is Vice Captain Oshina. This one is Captain Narumi. And he also senses Kikoru. And then Kafka manages to untransform one portion of his face as he talks to Kikoru. Kikoru, I'm not coming. I believe in you. And that's when Kikoru starts to perk up. Mind you, she's kind of stuck in this dream state by kaiju number 15. And then Kafka transforms his face back again. As for me. And the running kaiju starts smiling at him. And it jumps away from Kafka and it starts running in place. It starts running in place. And while it's doing so, its legs start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Mind you, those are the only parts of its body that are getting big. Its leg muscles, like its thigh muscles, get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until its own thigh muscles is bigger than its own torso. And Shinonome sees this as the same kaiju braces for a sprint. So it's literally souping up its own legs so it can shoot towards Kafka. And it's just standing there. Fortitude level rising! 9.2! And then Shinonome goes,
This is bad. Run! Hey, we know you have to!
And then Kafka, before she can even finish this sentence, Kafka is not moving. And then it shows the kaiju a far distance down the street. And then all of a sudden, it's directly in front of Kafka, who still isn't moving. It used the power of its legs to literally blitz Kafka. And Shinonome only watches as Kafka doesn't move and stops the punch. This is cinema. This is cinema. Without even moving, he just catches the fist of this kaiju and the area behind Kafka just implodes from the shockwave, from the inertia, from the momentum, and Kafka doesn't move and catches the fists, shocking both the speed kaiju and Shinonome. And then Kafka continues. As for me, I'll focus on my enemy and mop the floor with them! And proceeds to, without even batting an eye, takes his fists and punches directly into the chest of the speed kaiju. And he hits this thing so hard, it goes flying into the bridge, into the underpass that they're under, flies into it, and then the entire road explodes from the impact, and it shows that Kafka also destroyed the core as well. Kafka one-shot this thing. While everyone else was struggling, Kafka came in and one-shot it. And the shark kaiju and the blade kaiju, they both sense this. The brain kaiju, I'm just gonna call their names by their description. The brain kaiju senses this and goes,
So, number 18's on another level after all. We're supposed to join forces to eliminate him. I need to hurry and finish her off so I can.
Until number 15 notices that Kikoru is no longer behaving the way she was when she was connected with her mind, and notices that Kikoru is holding her battle axe, and her eyes no longer have this look of despair, but of pure determination. See, the worst thing you could have possibly done was get distracted, because since Kafka gave her that pep talk, Kikoru is only concerned with completely and utterly destroying the enemy. Because Kafka says, I believe in you. I'm not coming to help you. You'll have to take it out on your own, but I believe in you. That's all she needed. And that's the end of chapter 83. Almost to chapter 84! Kafka's back! And your boy caught that fist like, weak sauce. Chapter 84. Kikoru, I'm not coming. I believe in you. And then Kikoru regains her will. And number 15 notices and screams,
Why, you?
And before 15 can do anything, 15 gets slashed across the chest.
How are you able to move?
And Kikoru, even though she's being punctured by these mind spines, I'm just going to call them mind spines, even though she's being punctured by them, and number 15 keeps creating them, she's wondering,
what's going on here? Is my mind hack not working?
And then she goes to dive back into Kikoru's mind again, and we see crying Kid Kikoru again.
No, it is working. Then how is she?
And then it cuts back to Kikoru going,
I'm so sorry. I'm so
And then 15 continues to speak.
Yes, that's right, little Kikaru. Your mommy and daddy aren't around to praise you anymore. There's no point in trying any longer to... No. That's what I thought. But I was wrong.
And then Kid Kikaru stops crying. And then she's looking. And then Kid Kikaru is looking, but she's not looking at number 15.
What is she looking at?
And then she looks behind her and sees Kafka. The 15 suddenly sees Kafka in the mindscape.
Not just him. Reno, Iharu, Aoi, Haruichi. For everyone in the 3rd division, I want to be a teammate they can be proud of. For Master Moron, Platoon Leader Shinonome, and everyone in the 1st division, I want to be a pupil they can be proud of.
And the mindscape that number 15 has trapped Kikaru in is starting to crack around her.
What is this? Daddy? Mommy? Since joining the Defense Force, I've met so many people I wanted to be recognized by. I'm sad that I can't see you two. But I'm pressing on. Japanese Defense Force Officer Kikaru Shinonomiya!
And Kid Kikaru grabs her battle axe as the world shatters around her.
Now commencing neutralization of Kaiju number 15!
And 15 is shocked that nothing she's doing is working.
Squadron style axe technique. Number 2!
As Kikaru runs up on the brain on number 15 and immediately swats at her.
Water skimmer!
And both the arms of number 15 just get completely destroyed. And while that's happening and 15 is bleeding her out, she's going,
Screw you! Screw you! Screw you! Screw you! I will kill you! And then Daddy will recognize me.
referring to number 9.
So be a good girl and embrace death!
And 15 starts launching debris at Kikoru. And there's a massive torrent of all this debris that she launches at Kikoru, but it does nothing. As Kikoru ignores it, rushes 15, stamps into the ground with like a full-on stance for swinging an axe. As Kikoru goes,
Thank you, number 15, for exploiting my weakness. Squadron style technique number 6. Thanks to that, I've gotten stronger. Daruma Dropper, 10 hit!
and she proceeds to cut number 15 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different pieces. It'll be literally impossible for number 15 to survive this. Kikoru just basically... Ooh, these are such good chapters! Kikoru just cut this thing down to pieces. And that's the end of chapter 84. Onwards to chapter 85. Woo! Volume 11 is good.
I crushed their core. They should be fit.
Daddy?
As she notices like an extra brain stem still attached to her.
Another psychogenic attack?
I got my car destroyed.
No. This is...
I can't regenerate. Daddy? Daddy?
As it cuts to number 9, who has taken on the visage of Isao. And apparently this is back then. This is back then when number 9 created, number 15 and made it look like Hikaru. And it's a child sitting on number 9's lap.
This is number 15's thoughts?
Chapter 85. And in the cover page here, it has Kikoru staring face to face with her kaiju doppelganger.
Hey, Daddy, do you love me?
And then it shows Isao, number 9, sitting there with Isao's face. And then it peels away with Isao's face, but with a very abnormally large eye, and also the 3 eyes of number 9 on one side. And then it peels away to show number 9's face as it speaks to, number 15. Ah, love you, huh? I made you to kill Kikoru Shinomiya. So if you become stronger than her, then I'll love you. And number 15 is elated by this. I've reproduced Kikoru Shinomiya's combat power based off Isao's memories. Try killing that first. Time passes, and she kills this kaiju that was made with the data from Kikoru, and she's standing over it. Mind you, this is a childlike kaiju. Its hands are covered in blood, and it's smiling. And then it speaks.
Daddy, I killed it! I'd never lose to that weakling! Do you love me?
And then that smile gets lost. That smile on kid number 15, kid kaiju number 15, just disappears. I've given you a special psychogenic attack function. If you can master it, then I'll love you.
Okay.
And then it cuts to number 15 as it's grown older, or at least changed its shape to become older, or I want to say it's matured, and it's using its psychogenic attack.
I did it! I can go and kill little Kikoru whenever you like! So tell me, do you?
This again. And number 15 is actually, losing hope that number 9 could ever love it. Like I told you before, I made you to kill Kikoru Shinomiya. Whether I can love you depends on that. If you can kill her, then I'm sure I can love you. And then it cuts back to 15.
It's fine. It'll be fine. If I kill little Kikoru, then this time I'm positive that Daddy will finally acknowledge me.
And mind you, Kikoru is actually getting all of these memories from 15. And she can only stand there with tears in her eyes.
You know, little Kikoru, patching into you made me realize something. Your daddy was hard on you because he loved you. But my daddy is different. To him, I'm nothing more than a pawn. Hey, Daddy, I'm about to die.
As number 15 starts to literally fade away.
And despite that, even as I lie here...
And it shows 9, and it's not even looking at it. It's as if it's not even looking in the direction of number 15.
You refuse to look my way.
And then the face of Kikoru disappears from number 15, and all we get is its original face, no longer moving. Then we get Kikoru.
You took the lives of so many people. I could never feel affection for you. But I'll make sure to punch number 9 right in the face on your behalf.
And that's when everyone else notices. When everyone that was with Kikoru notices, Itami notices, even Kurusu notices. Number 15's vitals are gone. Officer Shinomiya has eliminated Kaiju number 15! And then everyone just goes, oh, yeah! So we got one high-grade kaiju that's already down. And then we have Itami, who has like a slight bit of sweat on his brow, going, well done, Shinomiya. Number 9 clearly did its research before taking actions against us. You did a fine job in defying its expectations. Report from Sumida! Number 11's onslaught is continuing, and damage is spreading! And mind you, this is the shark kaiju that's going up against Captain Narumi. And then it cuts to Narumi, who's running along the wall. As he's running, Kikoru chimes in going,
It's your turn now.
and then Narumi hears this. And then Kikoru chimes in going,
Show me, your disciple, those skills of yours, master moron.
and then Narumi, after hearing this, his eyes widen. He thinks of General Isao. And then it looks like water wraps around Narumi's leg. And then there's a crash into the building that he's running into. Captain! Then there's a whole bunch of debris. Well, you sure told me. Allow me to grant your wish. I'll show you that we're leagues apart, my dumb disciple. As Narumi slicks his hair back and his eyes shine with the power of Kaiju number 2 because Narumi is about to get serious. And that's the end of chapter 85. Onwards to chapter 86. We're making some really good time with these chapters, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be surprised if I get through this quickly. Oh, so that's how their hair looks. The people that are on, I'm looking at the illustrations. The people that are on Narumi's team, they have black hair, but with different colored highlights. Okay, all right. Chapter 86. And I think I hit a button. Okay, we're good. Chapter 86. And it cuts to Narumi, who was sparring with Isao back then. We're in the flashback. Show me your skills. I don't need an incompetent officer who's nothing but talk. In the end, no matter how much I tried. And it cuts back to each time. It cuts to each time when Narumi tried to, actually beat Isao. He lost in Kendo. He lost in... What is that? Was that like an eraser meant to fall on Isao's head? It looks like he tried to prank him. He lost in Judo. Yeah, he lost to Isao in Kendo. He lost to Isao in pranking him. He lost to Isao in Judo. Not once was I ever able to wow that geezer. And this is when Narumi was just a little bit younger. And then it cuts back to the present as we have Narumi running along the wall, going up against the shark kaiju. 15 minutes have passed since full release. Sync stress is at level 3. He's on the verge of overheating. If Captain Narumi could at least get the kaiju in range. And then the kaiju starts sending more Mizu shots straight towards Narumi. And it's just unleashing them from a very safe distance. But while it's throwing them, Narumi suddenly appears directly in front of the shark kaiju. He got in close! RT-0001. But then all of a sudden, Narumi's legs are wrapped in water and he gets thrown in another direction again. Then the shark kaiju speaks. I know that one. Number 1 was called the Future Sight Kaiju, but the truth is, it's pseudo foresight. You simply read the electrical signals your target's body emits, and use that information to predict their movements. You can't predict the movements, however, of any inorganic threat that homes in on you automatically. As this kaiju sends more water towards Narume, which he bats away easily. He's fending it off! You're darn right he is! We're talking about Captain Narume after all! His close quarters combat ability is on par with Vice Captain Hoshina's, at the top of the whole defense force! And then Narume braces himself as he rushes the shark kaiju again. Might as well call him the water kaiju. Squadron style gun sword technique number 1. I know that one too. And then Narume stares at the kaiju. Eruption slash! And then he hits the arm of the kaiju, but it doesn't do anything because it protects its body with water globules. It blocked it? So the water acts as an automatic shield. Yeah, it basically blocked his blows with water. And then it tries to swing on Narume, which Narume dodges. Number 2, slash salvo. And then he slashes again, but the water kaiju immediately defends himself with water again. And that one too. And then I won't say shards of ice, but spikes of water come out of the ground, and Narume jumps up in the air and covers his exposed side with his gun sword in order to deflect it. Number 1, eruption slash. Number 2, slash salvo. Number 3, thunderfire. Number 4, flame shower. Number 5, sky turner. Number 6, 7, branch sword. Oh, wait. No, this is the kaiju naming all of this from Narume. No, that's actually bad. Number 1, eruption slash. Number 2, slash salvo. Number 3, thunderfire. Number 4, flame shower. Number 5, sky turner. Number 6, 7 branch sword. I know all of them. After all, I was given Isao Shinomiya's memories! As Narume is bound up by water and left to watch as the water kaiju engorges its body, its whole upper torso, and prepares to hit him. And he proceeds to punch Narume with his increased muscle mass, sending him straight through a building into another and cratering into the wall of the one he stops at. Numbers weapon 1, right torso heavily damaged. Initiating bypass from circuit 2 to 4. Hairline fractures in 8th and 9th ribs and on left side. Diverting 2% of suit's constructed muscle to control bleeding. And then the water kaiju starts stepping towards Narume. This is a letdown again, Narume. There are words in my memories that I'll deliver in place of your master. I don't need an incompetent officer. Die here. As the water kaiju creates countless amounts of water, of just water globs, all throughout the entire area. So much that even Narume possibly doesn't have a chance of dodging all of this. And then we get General Itami. The odds are too stacked against him. The kaiju's not just countering number 1's abilities. It even has the memories of Isao, the one person who knows Narume better than anyone. There's nothing he can do against. And then, all of a sudden, something actually hits the kaiju. And it's looking at it confused. And so is Itami. I got hit? No, it just grazed me. It was a fluke. No need to give me that look, Mr. Isao. As the kaiju's looking back at him. And while Narume's looking at the kaiju, he sees Isao's entire visage looming over this particular kaiju. I'm finally ready to wow the heck out of you. And the water kaiju is just looking confused as all of a sudden Narume blitzes this creature, cuts off its arm, and destroys all the water globules that it would use for defense in an instant. shocking everyone. The kaiju Itami Kurusu. Narume is locked in. He's locked in! Narume is locked in! That's the end of chapter 86. Onwards to chapter 87. We really are going to be getting through this in a decent amount of time. It's only been, what? 41? It's only been 41 minutes? Am I going to get this done in under an hour? That's impossible! But not in chapter 87 starts with Narume cutting the arm off of this kaiju immediately. He hit me again? The eyes all over his body change color. This occurrence wasn't in Isao Shinomiya's memory, and before he can say anything, a gigantic hole opens up on his shoulder because he's just been shot there. And then the kaiju creates more water globules to protect himself and launches it at Narume, who goes, I can see it. You bite with a frontal attack to immobilize the legs. As Narume dodges all of them, I can see that too. Fire 5 water orbs to defend while the main body prepares to attack from behind them. And then he proceeds to slash through the kaiju again! Grr! Next, as soon as you turn around, you'll launch an immobilizing water attack. What is this? I don't need an incompetent officer. That was the first time. I suffered a profound defeat. And this is Narume thinking back when Isao beat him back then. Mind you, it appears that Narume is pushing himself because blood starts coming out of his eye. I punched, I kicked, I slashed, I shot, but I couldn't stand up to him at all. And Isao is just unbothered by anything that Narume is even doing. I don't need incompetent officers in the 1st Division. And Narume is just throwing a fit after, beating after Isao beat him at the shooting range. I wanted to bring you to tears. I produce results. Hold on. Chaos Creations, hi. Designs, hi. This feels like it's going to be a bit of a short. Sorry, I was stopping because family is vacuuming outside my room. This might be a bit of a short stream because I'm already on chapter 87 of volume 11, and there's only 88 and then 89, and then that's the end of the volume. But it's good to see the both of you. I hope life has been treating you well. But Narume is sparring. We have memories of Narume versus Isao. I punch. I kicked, I slashed, I shot, but I couldn't stand up to him at all. I don't need incompetent officers in the 1st Division. I wanted to bring you to tears. I produced result after result after result, and then even more results. I was even picked to be Weapon 1's compatible user. And not once were you the slightest bit impressed. As time rolled on, you grew older and stepped back. 7th Division, 7th Captain, 1st Division, Gen Narume. And then, you were gone. And it shows Isao walking away from him, but after that day when he walked away from Narume, was the same day that number 9 took over his body. And Narume was left alone. Screw you. You're not gonna quit while you're ahead! And Naomi, channeling even more power, still rushes the water kaiju. Identified Kaiju Weapon 1 is showing abnormal output levels. Physical and mental strain levels are skyrocketing. What's going on? No clue, sir. We've never seen anything like this with this numbers weapon. What is this? The strain on his cerebral nerves is especially abnormal. If this continues, the captain's brain will barely last another minute. Naomi is pushing himself beyond any limit that of any other officer with a numbers outfit on. He's pushing himself way too hard. Yeah. And then it shows the water kaiju just being completely shot all over its body and in its head. What is going on? I can't dodge him. I can't defend against him. As Naomi continues to slice body part off of body part off of body part. I can't catch sight of him. He's not just predicting my main body's actions. He's also predicting every movement of mine via the water, both offensive and defensive. First happy customer of the day this week looks bright. Really? Oh, congratulations for you, Designs. You got a happy customer of the day. Good. He's not just predicting my main body's actions. He's also predicting every movement of mine via the water, both offensive and defensive. This can't be! Number one's ability is supposed to be pseudo-foresight, reading the electrical signals in one's body! Yeah, when it was number one. And it shows Naomi is already behind the water kaiju. In addition to electrical signals, I can perceive the movement of electrons, fluctuations in temperature, the terrain, and every detail of a location by the way of the eyes throughout my body. Using that information, I can predict what will happen via mental vision. It's quite literally the power to see the future. And all of a sudden, the water kaiju's leg just gets completely obliterated from its body without even Naomi appearing as if he did anything at all. This particular ability didn't manifest when number one was still a kaiju. It's a power that I developed on my own. And it shows Naomi as if he's sitting on the head of kaiju number one, and its multiple eyes around its body. This is an ability that Naomi has come up with by himself. That means that the entire time that we've been told that he relies on the electrical signals within a kaiju's brain in order to find where he needs to hit, no, he is capable of reading literally everything about the atmosphere from like he said, perceive the movements of electrons, fluctuations in temperature, the terrain itself, and every detail of a location by ways of the eyes throughout his suit. Reading everything around him allows him to basically anticipate what's going to happen next. Not just electrical signals in a kaiju's brain. And this shocks everyone. Itami and Kurusu. Then the kaiju gets upset. Enough of your games! That is not in Isao Shinomiya's memories! Of course it's not. And then Naomi is just dodging every single shot from this water kaiju as if it's basically nothing. This is meant to be. This is my ace in the hole, designed to wow the heck out of you! And then all of a sudden, the water globules that are protecting the kaiju get obliterated. Not good. I need my next barricade. I can already see your sliced up carcass. Squadron style gun sword technique number 6. 7-branch sword. And with this, basically, it's like the 7-pronged sword of Susanoo. He slices into this kaiju in seven different ways. Like it's like a seven branch sword, like an actual 7-branch sword these cuts go all over this kaiju's body, completely enveloping it. And that's the end of chapter 87. And now we move on to chapter 88. And then we go back in time, where we go back in time again for chapter 88. There's been a lot of flashbacks for a lot of these chapters ever since we first started. There's been a ton of these. But it cuts to Esau when he was younger. Well, not really younger. It is so funny. It is so funny how they draw Esau's sideburns and his facial hair. In one instance, it's barely past his mouth, and another, it goes directly under his nose. It's literally in the same panel here. But Esau's working out, and then Itami walks up.
Well, this is rare. I never thought I'd find someone as rigid as you training at this hour.
It's nothing.
Could it be that you feel like Nadomi is going to surpass you and you're feeling the heat?
And Esau doesn't say anything.
There's such a thing as being too perceptive, Itami.
And then Itami just kind of smiles.
Gen Narumi, countless tardies and absences, kicked out of his platoon 8 times for infractions and insubordination. A problem child on the verge of being discharged entirely. However, judging by how you're acting, his skills must be the real deal.
I'm positive he'll be a central part of the 1st Division, but he still lacks experience when it comes to winning. And losing.
And then he goes back to working out again.
It's imperative that I continue to be the wall that stands in his way. I can't put on a shameful display, not until that idiot becomes legitimate.
And then it cuts back to the present, with Itami watching on, in Esau's place.
Are you watching, Esau? The seed you planted has sprouted and bloomed into a legitimate flower.
Okay, so the 7-branch sword technique that Nadomi used, it is so huge, it literally, I think it parted the clouds, because the clouds are literally encircling around this technique's, like, slashes that are in the air right now. And the water kaiju just completely shatters to pieces, like its body parts just fall all over the place.
How do you like that, you lousy old man? Did that put a little tear in your stupid eye?
And then he can only think back of the last time he saw Esau and Esau's very stoic face. And he even sticks his tongue out at him. But seeing as Esau's face was stoic, he just slumps and just goes,
Tch. Ah, darn it. I can't even picture what a tear in your eye would look like.
And Nadomi has won his fight against the kaiju. And Kikoru knows as well. Meanwhile, at Chofu Airport, we get Okanogi, who's watching the fight between Vice Captain Hoshina and the Blade Kaiju. Remember, we have already seen 2 kaiju. Well, we've already seen 3 kaiju be brought down. We saw the Speed Kaiju be brought down by Kafka. We saw the Brain Kaiju be brought down by Kikoru. And now we've recently just seen the Shark Kaiju, the Water Kaiju, being brought down by Captain Nadomi. Now we have the Blade Kaiju that needs to be brought down by Vice Captain Hoshina. And Hoshina is still clashing with the Blade Kaiju. And Hoshina is getting cut across his body, like we get a cut across his face and across his arms. And then the Blade Kaiju focuses and launches back Hoshina, actually cutting into his shoulder. Like he was slashing across his armor, but now one hit managed to actually draw blood.
Number 2, Cross Slasher.
And he tries to use this move against the kaiju, and I believe the kaiju does the exact same move, and Hoshina is the one who receives damage in this clash. And Okanogi's going,
I've never seen this before. Vice Captain Hoshina is taking on a miniature class kaiju, and he's losing! Power power, speed, compatibility. It outshines number 10 in every way.
No doubt about it. This thing is.
And then it cuts back to 10 when he was speaking to Nanami back then, going, I'm his prototype. Oh! That explains why the face looks so familiar. This Blade Kaiju is the finished version of number 10. I get it. I get it. This Kaiju is supposed to be the finished version of number 10.
No doubt about it. This thing is.
And the Blade Kaiju's right behind Hoshina.
This thing is.
And then the Blade Kaiju brings its hands directly on Hoshina, and in the process breaks both of his blades. As this Kaiju stares down at him,
This thing is the finished product.
Yep. Hoshina is fighting the finished version of number 10. 10 is just the prototype. This is the final version. And the chapter ends with both of Hoshina's swords being broken while he gets pushed into the ground. Onwards to the last chapter of this volume. Okay. And now we're going back in time again. This is the flashback volume. This is the flashback volume. Hold on, let me get chat back up there. Okay, we're good. But yeah, we're back in time with the Hoshina clan?
The swordsmanship, combat skills, and small arms capabilities. He is seamless in every aspect. Soichiro is the Hoshina family's ultimate incarnation.
Who is Hoshina? Where's the main character? Main character showed up at the beginning of the chapter and basically just one-shot the kaiju. Kafka showed up, saved Tachibana and Shinonome from the speed kaiju. You know, the kaiju that liked to run? It tried bulking up its legs by running in place and made its thighs super duper thick and tried to blitz Kafka. Kafka transformed, blocked it with one hand because it tried to launch at Kafka and punch him with all that increased speed. You know, speed is weight. Mush. Kafka, in his kaiju state, didn't move, caught the fist, wasn't even moved at all, and then, with one punch, sent this thing flying straight through a bridge with enough power for all the other kaiju at the time to sense that kaiju number 8 was there. That's what happened to Kafka. He basically one-shot a kaiju, and now we've been cutting to everyone else. So we're cutting to everyone who's facing off against these kaiju that were specifically engineered to fight everyone. You know, combat their weaknesses. And so far, everyone has surpassed these kaiju and beaten these kaiju specifically created to weaken them. So the only person left at this time... No, because we still got others. No, we still got that floating obelisk-looking kaiju with the multi-faces on the block. We still got that one. But all the ones that are taking on all of the officers, the only one we have left at the moment is Hoshina.
Swordsmanship, combat skills, and small arms capabilities. He is seamless in every aspect. Soichiro is the Hoshina family's ultimate incarnation.
As far back as I can remember, my older brother has been perfect, while I was nothing more than a reject.
And this is chapter 89. Then we cut back to Hoshina, who's looking at the fact that both of his swords have been broken by Kaiju number 11.
His sword!
Whew. Power, speed, technique. It outshines you in every way, number 10. That's the thing you talked about.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's the finished product.
And this creature is standing with its hand to the side like it's in a is like it's in like a fencing position. Kafka is stronger, I see. So much stronger. Him merely transforming into kaiju number 8 alerted every single other kaiju in the distant areas. They could sense him transforming. And they could also tell when that kaiju got killed by Kafka with that one punch. And Hoshina is the melee captain. He's the melee vice captain, to be specific, because Mina is his captain. He's just the vice captain. But he is the melee expert. And he's fighting a kaiju specifically meant to target him because he's an expert. Voiceover? Well, of course. Yes, I do this for all of my read-throughs. I don't read a single chapter of any manga normally. Like, I don't use this voice. I use it to describe certain things, but when it comes to characters, I go above and beyond. But getting back to it, Priyadarshi. Yeah, Priyadarshi. Hello, welcome if this is your first time here. But we get Hoshina going,
Phew. Power, speed, technique. It outshines you in every way, number 10. That's the thing you talked about?
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's the finished product.
So, we're a pair of rejects, huh?
And then the Blade Kaiju stamps his foot and 10 screams,
Dodge, Hoshina!
And then it just shows a cut go straight across Hoshina. But he actually dodges because the Blade Kaiju slashes in one direction and it destroys basically the command tower of the airport that they're at. He wasn't even close to the building. The inertia from it was enough to destroy the building itself.
We really can't afford to lose then.
What's that?
We're cutting it down, number 10.
That was always the plan!
And then, wow, gotta subscribe then? Hey, we're happy to have you. The more, the merrier, because I'm reaching for 100K. So I thank you for all the support in the meantime. But then, while Hoshina's running, he goes,
Okanogi, go ahead and deploy K7.
Roger. Now dropping pods from point 11 to point 20.
And then pods and helicopters start to drop out towards the airport. What are these bat pods? And they open up, and it's multiple smaller pods. And Hoshina can see them.
83%. No matter how hard I concentrate, the unleashed combat power of this suit won't go higher than that. What am I missing? Or is this the maximum output for me in number 10? Either way, if I can't hope for a rise in unleashed combat power, then I'll have to change up my strategy to find a way to win.
And then it gets close to the ground, and all the pods hit the ground in a line. And they open up, and it's just... And they're all single swords. They're all single katanas.
Single blade swordplay is more my brother's wheelhouse, so I didn't want to use this if I could help it. Hoshina-style sword slay technique, single blade form.
And Hoshina is standing there with like a sword at his side.
Oh, so you've been keeping that style up your sleeve, have you?
And Okanogi is just watching. And because we got more flashbacks. We cut back in time as Okanogi is speaking to Hoshina going,
Develop a new weapon?
Yeah, if number 9 was observing my fight with number 10, it might have to come up with a way to counter my dual blade form. This way, if I run into trouble neutralizing enemies with numbers weapon 10, I'll have a backup measure ready. I can engage them with my single blade form.
And he thinks of his brother Soichiro.
I can't afford to lose when it comes to the blade.
And then Okanogi, inspired, goes,
That's right. The vice captain has low aptitude in small arms, so to him, the sword is his core. It's something he can't see to anybody.
Then we cut back to the present as he's got his single sword in hand, and then the blade kaiju is far off in the distance. And then it's just instantly in front of him. It's just at the back, and then it's way in the front. And then Ogonogi is shocked by this, but Hoshina, with his eyes open, just prepares to draw his sword. And in one singular motion, we see him as if he has like a gi and hakama on, and he has this sword in hand. He draws his blade. You see like the after images go across the blade, and then he brings his sword down.
It's something he can't see to anybody. The proof of his existence!
And Hoshina manages to cut not only through the arm, the blade arm of kaiju, of this kaiju, but he also slices into the leg as well without a single scratch on him. Single sword Hoshina is all like, okay, is akin to Kenpachi using his Zanpakuto with 2 hands. He's used to 2 swords, but bro can cut when it comes to this single blade. I mean, he was raised in a household to use a single blade, but he decided to, you know what, we'll probably find out a little bit more in the next chapter. However, with Hoshina cutting off the arm of Kaiju 11, of the blade kaiju, that concludes the end of volume 11. This was a good chapter. There was a ton of flashbacks in there, okay? There was a lot of flashbacks in there, but overall, this was a very good volume. Overall, so many flashbacks for everyone. Kikoru, Narumi, Shinonome, and even a little bit of Hoshina. Seeing all of them fight and bring down their own respective kaijus, now it's Hoshina's turn. And the thing is, Hoshina is now at a state where he's capable of fighting evenly, apparently fighting evenly with this blade kaiju now. Because at first he wasn't able to do anything to this thing, wasn't able to scratch it, was barely able to fully defend himself. Now that he has like a single sword, he can focus on that, and this has allowed him to give this kaiju its first injuries, which means we are about to see some Hoshina peak, and I cannot wait to read it for all of you next week. This was a very good volume. The action was very good. I enjoyed the dialogue, and even though there was a lot of flashbacks, there were for a volume. I feel like I haven't read this many flashbacks in a volume for any manga that I've covered on this channel. There was just so many flashbacks. Not saying it's a bad thing. I just noticed that there was a whole bunch of them. Overall, I enjoyed this volume because these kaiju that were specifically engineered to combat all of these JDF officers have met their end against these officers because they literally went beyond plus ultra on all of these kaiju. And now it's Vice Captain Hoshina's turn. So I can't wait to see that next week. But I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you for stopping by for today. We'll have another session a little bit later. It's going to be a chill session. We're playing Power Wash Simulator. It's going to be the most chill session you have ever seen. But to everyone else, if I don't see you again today, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!